All right, really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the nation. And we're going to talk about should the Cowboys be conservative during this time. I would say that the Cowboys don't have the longitude and latitude to be conservative. I think that the player evaluation is always 365. I think the Cowboys should, using the operative word should, go out there and just get somebody that can help out on the back end. We saw how that was able to make a spark to this team and propel us last year. So what I'm thinking now is that the Cowboys need to make the same type of necessary adjustments of going out there, finding somebody to help us out down the line. That's the reality of it. I do know that when we look at this team collectively from A to Z, and we will say, man, it's okay. But I believe deep down in my heart, if we were to lose against the Eagles, I think they would have made a drastic change. But by us being 4-3, now it goes back to the conservative nature. Now, is that something that I can say that if this team does not go out there and make things happen, will this team fall flat on its face? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that we may have to go out there and make something happen as it relates to the back end on this team. Now, I will say this. 4-3, it looks like, Kellen Moore had to go through some type of growing pain. And then on top of that, our offense started off hot, and then you get hit in the face, and then now you bounce back. And against our common opponents, I can say this: Kellen Moore is familiar with the Eagles, familiar with the Washington Redskins, familiar with the Giants. He's been with this team since 2015, so I do know that his study of the opposing opposition should have been great. But how are we faced against teams that we have not played against that are not common opponents? That's what I want to know. So those are just reservations on my mind, heart, and soul. But what I'm saying is that this team needs to figure out ways to push the envelope and thread the needle, whatever you want to call it, whatever verbiage you want to use in that, and make some wheels and deals. I believe that we draft pretty well, but sometimes we miss, and we missed on Randy Gregory. I hate to say that, but I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. We missed on Randy Gregory. His skill set doesn't equate to what the NFL needs to do, right? And, of course, off the field situations and things like that, it just didn't work out. We lost with him, okay? I'm tired of waiting for him, so it's a done deal. We lost that deal, right? We missed out on Taco Charlton. I can think of several players that we could have went out there and grabbed outside of a Taco Charlton. Even when we drafted him, I said, oh, Lord, we missed on him, right? And right now we landed with LVE, which is good. And we landed with other players like the Ezekiel Elliott's of the world, and D-Law, we gambled and we got him as well. So because we moved up, I believe, to get D-Law, and at first it seemed like it was going to be grim, but it worked out with him. But we still have a big old question mark about the size of a 5,000-pound gorilla or an elephant with Tristan Hill. So what I'm saying is we're trying to hold on to these first round and second round draft picks where we can utilize them for known commodities. Right now, I can only close my eyes and wish we had a Jamal Adams. I don't think that the way the Cowboys are playing and the nature that we are playing and the aspect of the collective picture of what we're playing, even if we become 8-8, 9-7, 11-5, or 10-6, or anything like that, 12-4, whatever it may be, 13-3, right? Meaning that we're going to pick on the back end of the first round and the second round and the third round anyway. I'm looking at it like that in those parameters. I'm seeing that this team, even through the Tony Romo era, that we won just enough games, but we didn't lose enough to get those high caliber type of players. So what I'm saying is, if you know, and I'm not saying Jamal Adams is out there on the trading blocks, but if you know that if you can help this team out, whether it be safety, whether it be a tight end, whether it be a guy that you can put on that front, a big plug that you can put inside, then you got dogged, you do it. This team is one or two players away from just being miraculous in that situation. Now, I will say this. Cowboy Nation, really appreciate you. Shout out to you, Alex and Joseph. Thank you for tuning in to the Nation. Boswell, appreciate you. Gabriel, Mr. 30442, really appreciate you. Junebug, what's good, fam? Here's the thing. When we start looking at this team collectively, we can say, if the Sky Mirror can look into the future, and if Jason Garrett and Jerry Jones and Will McClay and all those boys, Stephen Jones, throw him into the mix, and Chris Hall and whoever else that's making the scouting reports and things like that, if they can look into the future and they got a crystal ball, or that Sky Mirror can really work, and they can say, well, the offensive line is going to be healthy. Everybody that we got right now is going to be healthy. Then I can say, yeah, you can be conservative. But we don't have that longitude and latitude. Yes, we're heading into the bye week. There's no win or loss for us. Maybe you can look at it and say, well, hey, if a certain team lose, then we are in a better situation because they lost. Yeah, we can look at it that way. And we can be winning and propel us because if a certain team lose, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you sit on a pot too long, 9 times out of 10 it's going to do you more damage than good. Shout out to you, Natasha. So we got to figure out, either we are all in for this Super Bowl run, or we're going to sit back and be conservative. Or we're going to sit back and say, okay. Remember, I used to say this. There's three, well, it still applies to this day. There's 3 type of people in this world. A person that go out there and make things happen, that's one person. A person that go out there and watch things happen, that's another person. And a person that's go out there and say, man, what just happened? You don't want to be that person to say, hey, man, what just happened here? You don't want to be the person that's watching things happen. You just sitting back and you looking back and you looking over your shoulder, you looking around and you saying, boy, that is a sure nice thing that the Patriots are doing right now. Oh, that's sure nice what the LA Rams are doing right now. Oh, that's nice what this team is doing. And I'm not saying that those teams are going to win multiple games and Super Bowls. And the Patriots been winning multiple Super Bowls. But what I'm saying is, you want to be the person that go out there and make things happen, willing and dealing. I love what we can do collectively as it relates to the draft. And I love Will McClay's skills and these sorts of things. But what I'm going to say and I bring home is that we do not will and deal on the back end enough. We don't will and deal on the back end. We get players and we hold on to them too long. Case in point, Tyron Crawford. We held on to him too long. And then they become injured and they become used goods and we don't get nothing in return. Hitchens, of whatever his name was, we held on to him too long. Orlando Scandrick, we held on to him for 10 years expecting some type of crazy results to happen. You see, we hold on to players too long. And even with the, Taco Charlton, we held on them. We should have just been able to say, okay, not wait till this year to try to make that move for Trademan. If you knew for sure that if your scouting report and everything that you had about him was these sets of things, you have to start setting up trade opportunity or get something in return. Even Dez Bryant, we let him walk, you see. Or we held on to him too long. If you know you're not sold in or bought in on a player, start falling in love and just say, vamos, sayonara, get rid of the player. Geno Atkins will be good. Yes, I think that he will be. Yeah, we held on to Miles Austin too long, man. Yeah, Roy Williams, oh my goodness, which one? We need to learn how to will and deal. Look, we can't cry right now because we in first place. We 4-3. We came off of a divisional rivalry game, which was good. And it's good to get back and soak all of that fun in and listen to my guy Dion Primetime Sanders go to his Twitter page and he's saying, okay, well, we blame Jason Garrett, we blame Jerry Jones, we blame Dak Prescott when we lose. Why are you not blaming them when we win? And he said, hey, he said his mama said when the fan only blows when it's hot. So he was saying that, the fan base only blows when we're hot. So, and a whole bunch of stuff like that, But what I'm saying is, and he does have a valid point, but just the amount of energy we have when we lose, we got to keep that same energy and understand when we win. That is it good enough for us to be dominant? I mean, in certain situations in life, you can look at things and say, oh man, I'm proud of this moment. I love this moment. I should enjoy this moment. But when it's still at the average level and you're not overcoming the small things, when you going to wake up and say, yeah, that's good, we beating our division foes, yeah, that's good, but I want dominance. I want to dominate. Everything about Bill Belichick in that Jets game when they was up 24-0, and he made another play when they came 30-0 or 33, whatever, that smile, that smirk on the face speaks dominance. Putting the foot on the throats of the Jets, letting them know that we're not going to give you a glimpse of hope. We're going to shut down any possibility for you to think that you have a chance. Love it. Not saying that, hey, we need a Bill Belichick, but we need that temperament and that mentality to dominate, to know that when you enter the room, that the man, the alpha mentality, that there's no beta male around here, is that the Dallas Cowboys, we own you. We need to continue to have presence, and we need to continue to turn the bottom of this roster over and over and over again. We can't get satisfied with 8-8. Hell, I'm not satisfied with 10-6. I'm not satisfied with just winning a divisional champion and the divisional title. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm not satisfied of just being the number one overall in offense. That's not cool. That's not cool all the way. Yeah, you can say, yeah, Lord, hey, man, it's been harsh. No, I'm not satisfied. Never have the mentality, the moment you feel comfortable, the moment you feel like you accomplished everything, you have done nothing. You got to continue to push the envelope, continue to work and craft your best. Yes, right. Tanjo, yes, nothing but the best. Yes. Harbaugh is the magic we need. I don't know. But, I want dominance. I see, I feel what you're saying, though. You said Jim Harbaugh is the magic we need. And we'll see. Gary reminds me of everyone. Thanks for noticing. Yeah, I guess I couldn't read the comment all the way. Kellen Moore is going to be the head coach next year. Here's the thing. I knew I was going to bring up this topic. Jerry Jones said that Jason Garrett is not a yes man. If you have to explain it, then he is. I'm going to repeat. If you have to explain it, then he is. So I don't care what, and I love 105.3 The Fan. I love Mike Fisher. I love all of those guys. But I cannot lie to kick it. I cannot sugarcoat it. If you have to question it, then he is. That's the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. Can't nobody debate me on that. If you have to question it, then he is a yes man. That's the reality of it. There's no way in life, if he wasn't, then you wouldn't have to question it. Go tweet them that. Go ask them that. If you have to question it, we know that Jason Garrett is a yes man. We know that he's not going to challenge Jerry Jones' authority. Come on now. That's foolish talk. That's foolish thinking. People gotta realize and understand that Jerry Jones' whole job is to sell tickets, put feet in seat, put seats. I'm trying to keep it PG-13. I can't even say it because it'll be a cuss word. Put rear ends in those seats at Texas Stadium or Arlington Stadium to sell those tickets, to let you know that the moon is made of cheese. That's his whole angle. So if you go buy a jet, if you go find a way to rocket ship to get to the moon, and you realize and say to yourself, man, this moon is made of a rock. This Jerry Jones been selling me that this thing is made of cheese. I've invested all of this money and I made it all the way to the moon and it's nothing but a rock. Shame on you. That's Jerry Jones, baby. We gotta love that. I love Jerry. But come on, if anybody's buying the fact that Jason Garrett is not a yes man, come on now, come on. Yeah, Natasha, yeah, appreciate it. Butts in seats, yeah. I was about to say something else. I was like, whoa, I got to keep it PG-13, right? But Cowboy Nation, man, we love this team from the beginning to the end. We love this team from left and right. But I think that sometimes what hinders us collectively is that we tend to be a little too conservative. And we look back at our faults, and we will say, yeah, the Joey Galloway trade was foolish, right? And I can understand you've been bitten by that. I can understand you gave up the farm for him, but nobody told you to do that for a receiver at that point. We was one player away, I think, that they were thinking, but they gave up too many draft picks for that type of caliber of guy, right? And then we fool around and get bitten by the Roy Williams trade or pick up what have you, or whatever we did with the Roy Williams situation. And to me personally, with the Brandon Carr, the Brandon Carr deal, when you paid him $50 million at that time, it was a lot of money, moolah, paper, dinero, chinchetta, however you want to call it. But to me, Brandon Carr was not a scheme fit for us. You see, we had the wrong scheme for Brandon Carr. And then we gambled a little bit. I don't think that the Greg Hardy situation was as bad as it was, you know. I think Greg Hardy had some good serviceable numbers. I just think that the coaching staff collectively just didn't know how to handle Greg Hardy, I believe. Yeah. But I think that if Greg Hardy would have went to any other team, he would still be playing in the NFL right now, you know. But, you know, the media and the ESPN, the Full Ladder Network, NFL Network, they get fickly when the guy was saying, think about it, made headline news, guns a-blazing. It made headline news, and he was just talking about, hey, we're going to come out guns a-blazing, and it made headline news, crazy stuff. And who else? What else blew up in our face a little bit? T.O. situation. T.O. got old, you know. But outside of that, I think that we shouldn't be shy of pulling the trigger on players, you know. I think that we need to go out there and will and deal. David Irving, David Irving scenario. I think that the NFL, at first when I was listening to the news of David Irving, I was on the coach's side, and then I started following David Irving on Instagram, and the stuff that he was talking about came to light, and I was like, dang, the NFL kind of screwed David Irving a little bit, just a little bit, with the false test, with the and they got him, because David Irving, we know that he blazed. And here's the thing, before I wrap this thing up, David Irving, we knew that he blazed, right? But they only test you one time out of a year. They came up with a false test, made him test positive for some reason for steroids, which they said that the test came back negative, but they enter him into the program to test him for everything. And after they test him for everything, they realized that he had weed in his system. I think it was crass of the NFL and to target him. And in his story of how he elocuted and how he put it out there to the masses was right on par. And then all of the other stuff started coming out. Megatron, Smoke and Blaze before every game, and other players came out after that. I just think that David Irving, he didn't do himself a good way of putting it out to the masses. But at the end of the day, the NFL did a disservice and a distrust with the NFL with the testing of him, multiple testing him and stuff like that. It's crazy. Just go follow his story on Instagram to get the full details of it. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you all. Post down who you think the Cowboys should go out there and try to pick up and trade, or to bring in for a test run and things like that, and how we're looking at the second half of the season or what have you, and what record we need to come out with. And and one question before I go too, would you prefer for us to have a first week or first bye of the playoffs, or you prefer us to go right in as wild card and play and continue to play, and you know, kind of like what we did last year, play the first week of the playoff, or you prefer a bye in the playoff? How do you feel with this coaching staff with that? Cowboy Nation, that's been my time. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for supporting, subscribing to the channel, and thank you guys for commenting as well and give me cash. Shout out to you, man. Yes, we do need a stuffer in the middle. Yeah, I see you. A bye week, yeah. a first round bye. Yeah, I think that's how it goes, man. I need to get some more coffee, right? Yes. Hold on. We need a bye week. This is from Gilbert Dennis. Do you trust Jason Garrett with a bye week? We'll see how we play when we come out for this bye. Yeah, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's go.